Yes, everyone, hello. Welcome back to Forever United TV. I'm Adam. This is your evening update on everything going on at Manchester United right now. And to start the show, I want to be serious for a minute. No, I can't be. I'm talking Jadon Sancho, and I just want to celebrate when I hear the news from finally a reputable journalist coming out and saying that Jadon Sancho now more likely to leave Manchester United. Yes, I'm going to get into all of that detail. I did hint about it and touch on it in the midday video, but we have had more sources now come out and say that it is now likely Jadon Sancho is out of the door this summer for Manchester United. I was fully prepared to see him out next season. He gets a loan, he takes the mick out of the club, get him gone. I'm not expecting much. I just want him out of the door. See you later. I've seen them pictures of Rashford and Jesse Lingard earlier on. Just reminded me of what this club used to be like, of what this club used to be and what it represented. And it was Player Power FC. Any news on Sancho leaving this football club is music to my ears. I'm going to get into that in detail as well. I will give you the update on Rasmus Hojlund and Alejandro Garnacho as well, and where we're at with them two. Manchester United acting like a proper football club. And by that I mean talking about Cesco, and we have got a Cesco update tonight as well. We're going to get into a bit of detail on that also. But United have two other strikers lined up in case Cesco goes wrong. There is a plan B, C, and looks like a D right now for Manchester United. They are going to bring in more players this window. It's going to get busy. Every single journalist, anyone who's on tour, anyone who's talking to United, anyone with any sort of link to the football club is saying exactly the same thing. We're going to be busy. It's music to every single Manchester United fan's ears, and everything that we have been begging for summers of, the last 10 years? Yeah, I think so at least. We've had some blockbuster summers, but I said this morning. This summer actually feels like it's built around the football. And that's what's important. That's what I meant there by the actual plan B, C, D and E, whatever, for Manchester United in terms of how far they want to go down. There is another option. There's always another option. And we are going to get big updates very soon on Benjamin Sesko. But I want to start with the news on Jadon Sancho. Now, earlier on, I spoke about, and I did allude to this earlier on today in the midday video when I said that there has been reports from Germany and it was billed. I can never trust them. I'm going to be clear. I just don't ever think that anything coming from them. It's like Marca. It's like the Spanish version of that. It's like Corriere dello Sport when we report on them, and now we've found out exactly what they're like. The local papers to these big clubs like Juventus, like Real Madrid, Barcelona, like Bayern Munich, all of these papers and publications usually just drive what they want to benefit that particular club. And you've seen it happen. You'd have thought the MEN would have done that, but no. You're joking. I know the guys at the MEN, they're all very, very good guys. Do you know what? Most of them are actually United supporters, and they just want the best for the football club. But they're just sick, and I think got used to reporting on the negative of Manchester United. One of them negatives is Jadon Sancho. One of them has always been Jadon Sancho. Ever since Ed Woodward brought him in for Manchester United, we've reported on Juventus taking him, possibly going to Turkey. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer helping his old club out and taking him off our hands at Besiktas, going there. Jose Mourinho doing exactly the same, actually. Any former Man United striker, any former Man United managers want to take him, apart from Ten Hag, because we all know what he thought of him. And to be fair to Ten Hag, and everyone thinks that I don't like Ten Hag, not my favourite, but I backed him with Jadon Sancho, and he was the first man to pick out Jadon Sancho as a problem at this football club. So credit to Eric. Bet you never thought I'd say that, did you? But yes, credit to Mr. Ten Hag. He was the one that outed this man for what he is at United. He didn't bring him into the club, and you could see clearly what he thought of him straight away. Problem after problem after problem. Now, Bild mentioned it earlier on, like I said, and now Ben Jacobs, and I've seen a couple of other now reports coming out on Jadon Sancho saying that he is going to take a massive pay cut, a substantial pay cut. Now desperate to leave Manchester United, Jadon Sancho. Everything is opening up for Manchester United. And I said this before, their play on banishing these players, the bomb squad. I think the Chris Wheeler description of these players is going to stick now, isn't it? The bomb squad is definitely the Callum Fodder, whatever you want to call them. These players now, and the way that they have been treated, the way that their situation has been handled at Manchester United, I think has set the tone throughout the club and throughout this squad. And even if these, and this is what happened before, so They didn't like the manager. They didn't like the way he was treating them. They would have someone to go to at Manchester United. The one thing that nobody talks about that Ineos did, and it's not nice seeing people leave their roles at Manchester United because they don't like the way that it's working. It's not nice seeing people lose their jobs because they were never needed in the first place. They will say that they was, and in their eyes they probably were, because they got used to the way that Manchester United operated. That's not their fault. But everything that's happened with Ineos, and one thing that no one talks about, is they gave these players nowhere to run, no one to go to, no one to bitch and moan to, and no get out of jail cards anymore. There was no soft soaping any of these players when we got rid of all of the staff. So Ineos went from the top to the bottom. We had directors leave, scouts leave, head of scouts leave Manchester United, coaches, managers, former players, everybody that could have given these players a get out are gone. And this was the first time this summer where the players had nowhere to go. When you're under contract and the transfer window is closed, there's nothing that the club can do. The players are stuck there, and it's basically flipping the bird at the club, pay me my money. And that's what it is, show me my money. That's what it's all about with these players. And now the window is open. Could United have the backbone? Could they have located their balls and returned them to the sack? No, it's a bit too crude. Sorry, everyone. But you know what? I had some cojones, as Troy Deeney would say, and actually stand up to these players when it mattered. It's all right saying this because you can't do anything when the season's on. It's all right saying that we're going to do this, we're going to do that. This is the new precedent. We're going to set the standards, and this is the line that nobody crosses. Remember that Ruben red line? Don't go over it. There's quite a few that went over it, and that was into no man's land, but he carried on. And this is the backing. This is the backing that they get. I've heard Andy Mitten talk about this several times. In fact, I think I've just heard him talking to Jay about this earlier on as well, about how Manchester United have operated and what these people at the club are actually doing. It is now run like a football club. And football is at the front and foremost, most important thing right now at United. And it's all geared around that. And this window has proved that to me more than any other window before. And Jadon Sancho leaving, and I keep on saying this. And what did I say? When Romano came out and shot everyone's hopes and dreams down, that Jadon Sancho, according to Italian reports from Damasio, from reputable journalist, or used to be reputable journalist, coming out and saying that this deal was nearly done. Sign Conceição, and then that's it. Sancho comes in after him. They want two wingers. Bollocks. Complete and utter garbage talk. And Romano came out and shot us all down. I was like, right, that's it. I'm not saying anything now about Jadon Sancho until we get real concrete news from someone in England who thinks that this is going to happen. Someone who actually has got a few connections. And you know what? Ben Jacobs can be criticised a lot for a lot of stuff that he comes out with. He doesn't get everything right, but this summer he's been pretty decent with a lot of stuff from what he's reported on. And he today has said this, and others have now said it as well, that Jadon Sancho is taking this pay cut just to get himself out of Manchester United. This is exactly the kind of attitude the players are now taking that we didn't expect because of the stance of the football club. And everybody always says it. Adam, these players are just going to stick around and earn their wages. They're never going to leave. They're on massive money. Why would they leave? Because at the end of the day, they're footballers. And they know nothing else. So it's all right, yeah, they will take that money. That's fine saying that. But you take their life away from them and they start to brick it. They start to bottle it a little bit. And United have done it. I actually do believe that we've managed to turn the corner when it comes to standing up to these players and making them want to move on. Them words that Ruben said to Garnacho weren't just to Garnacho. You better hope that you find a football club. Because United are fully prepared to let these players rot. If these players are not playing football, look, I'm telling you right now, Garnacho and Sancho will be looking at Marcus Rashford going, he's out on tour here, playing games for Barcelona. We need to start manufacturing a move. And that's because Marcus Rashford took a pay cut. He made it happen. Yeah, he didn't take as much as what Jadon's going to have to, but still, Marcus Rashford took a pay cut for Barcelona and United are paying nothing. That was the head of the snake right there, Marcus Rashford. You take that out of this team and then everything follows. Look, there may be stories that come out when Rashford finally leaves Manchester United officially that say his side of the story, and there will be corruptness from within Manchester United, no doubt. There's always someone else at every football club that could be doing wrong. But right now, from what we're seeing from the outside and what we're seeing on the pitch, and we cannot We cannot not see what we have seen. Like, the eye test is the be-all and end-all. At the end of the day, someone can tell you everything you want to about a player. They can big him up to something. They can defend him for stuff that's happened off the pitch. But let's be clear on this one. Did anybody see any real effort or drive from Marcus Rashford in his last 2 years at this football club? I can already say the answer to that is no, you didn't. And that's what we believed in. You take him out and everybody follows. Garnacho will come soon. I'm going to update you on him in a minute. But Jadon Sancho, I think, is the big one. He was the player that was bought in for mega money. Garnacho and Rashford are academy players. But this was the end of the Ed Woodward right here. And this marks an important day for Manchester United. No, he's not gone yet, but I'm just talking about the news that's come out that Jadon Sancho is actually leaving Manchester United, and he's trying to leave Manchester United. I think that's the most important thing. They will have a story behind it, like I said, that will back them up and make them look like the victim. They always will. They'll go hiding for the victim card and wait for people to defend them. They'll get all of their entourage out, and they will do their bit. Look, there's stuff that we don't know from behind the scenes, but honestly, they weren't good enough in the first place. And now that they are leaving, and Jadon Sancho in particular, I think it is a day that we have to mark down and just say this was the turning point for our transfer window. You could talk about all of the incomings and how exciting that actually is, and it is. It's very exciting, but the big thing was always getting rid of the players. Now, Dortmund are in for Jadon Sancho. They are seriously giving consideration to this move for Jadon Sancho now. Obviously, that brings in other clubs. If Jadon Sancho drops his wages, then all of a sudden you might get someone from Italy come back in for him. We know that he's all right going to Italy. We know that he's all right going to Germany. Interesting, we haven't had any Spanish sides in for Jadon Sancho yet. That is a strange one. That I know of, anyway. But honestly, if Jadon Sancho wants to go to Germany, there's a club there called RB Leipzig that might help us out a little bit here, actually, by taking Jadon Sancho as a bit of a make-weight for the likes of Benjamin Cesco. Could well happen. You never know. But what I'm saying with this is, I think the big thing is he's made himself affordable. And like what Ben Jacobs said, it is now more likely than 2 weeks ago that Jadon Sancho leaves Manchester United. That's all we needed to hear. That's all we needed to hear. Let's get some comments on this. Talk to me, everybody. Give me your opinions on the way that United have been run, the Sancho era, and what's happening at this football club now. Tell me I'm wrong if you want. Let's see. Joseph says, Adam, you can see panic now as Bomb Squad scramble to get clubs. Stay firm. Every player has a price to leave. Del Boy Trotter went to Barcelona. Arrest are struck. I love it when people talk in rhyme. I really do. It's great to see people's opinions come in. This is from Jez. He says, between Rashford, Garnacho, Sancho and Antony, them four have bled this club dry and gave Jack in return. The quicker they're gone, the better for everybody and themselves. But honestly, I don't like the players. But for their own careers, get out of here. Move on. That, I think, is big for Manchester United and the player. It's not just us. Like, it's going to benefit them, this move, and leaving Manchester United, because they couldn't handle what it was to be a United player. And now they can go out and just concentrate on the football again. So, yeah, I do believe that it is big news. Just as big news for them as it is for Manchester United. Not as much as it is for the fans, though, because we needed that respite. We did. And we needed our own sort of check, really, on what's happening at Manchester United. And he says we shouldn't be letting Erasmus go unless we are getting another striker as well as Cesco. Interesting. I'm going to come on to Cesco and Erasmus Hojlund in a moment. Jadon needs a real man. Give him a spanking. Cantona, where are you at? Jadon Sancho was born in the right era. Let's just say that anyway. There's no way that he would have lasted back in the day. Can you imagine Jadon Sancho in a dressing room with Cantona, Bruce, Schmeichel, Keane, Ince? Like, good God, like, it never would have survived. Born in the right era, that man, tell you. I hear all this talk about selling Hojlund, but if Cesco and Chido are our main strikers, backup midfielders or not, we're in the same position again. I think Cesco, Hojlund and Chido as an extra striker. Look, right, let's move on to that now, because people are talking about this. Rasmus Hojlund wants to stay and fight for his place alongside Benjamin Cesco. Competition is fine, Rasmus Hojlund says. Well said, Rasmus. No problem with that. Expect to be on the bench at Manchester United if you're not playing well. That's been a motto. Well, not so much an official motto, but that's been a level and a standard at this football club for decades. You are never safe. Think of these strikers that had 3 others behind them all of the time. Think about the Fergie eras when we had the Sheringham and Cole and York and Solskjaer. Then you're going across to Berbatov, Rooney, Tevez. Like, all of these strikers in. Ronaldo. Like, all of them 4 in at one time again at Manchester United. We've always had loads of strikers at Manchester United. And I don't think these players realise how much they've got it lucky right now in terms of being able to just waltz into this side. I think Rasmus needs it. Rasmus needs this check. And I think it will bring out more in him. It will. Everyone who's got a competition ups their game in any walk of life. Rasmus Hojlund's come out and said that competition is fine. He wants to fight for his place at Manchester United. I've got no problem with that. I'm not going to force Rasmus out if he wants to stay and fight, but know that he's second behind Cesco. Look, don't get me wrong. If Rasmus leaving got us Benjamin Cesco, then I believe that that's the right move still. And there'll be a few people that disagree with me that, but I'm never going to forget Rasmus's seasons in the Premier League when it really mattered. I still don't rate him enough to be Manchester United's striker. Can he develop into one? Have we seen certain moments in games? Yeah, we've seen it. And there is a player in Rasmus Hojlund, but I don't think we're ever going to see it if he hasn't got competition at his football club. He's a number 2 striker. He always was. And we spent the same amount of money that we're about to spend on Benjamin Cesco as we did on Rasmus Hojlund. Except Cesco's had a bigger development and a lot more minutes on the pitch in bigger leagues. And in bigger competitions than what Rasmus Hojlund has or did before he moved to Manchester United. Interesting one here that our friend Jan Fjortov brought up earlier on, actually, regarding the Benjamin Cesco situation. So he alludes to the head of recruitment at Manchester United here. This is what the director of recruitment at Manchester United said about Cesco in May to the official Bundesliga site. Benjamin Cesco is among the game's top young talents and has enormous potential to become a top player. He has all the qualities to do that. He's extremely quick, has a great jump on him, and is strong in the air. Benjamin is a real goal scorer who, despite his 1.95 frames, 6'5", is mobile and technically strong. His abilities make him a special player with special profile. This was requoted from Jan Fjortov after he said Christopher Vivel, now director of recruitment at Manchester United, is pivotal figure in the Cesco story. In fact, Vivel, head of recruitment at Red Bull Salzburg when the club signed Cesco. Later as technical director at RB Leipzig, he played a key role in securing a pre-agreement that brought Cesco to Leipzig. That was Fjortov talking earlier on. He works a lot for German magazine. He works a lot for the Bundesliga and reports on a lot of German football, like we've said before. And he's talking now about what Christopher Vivel said when he made that trip over that we heard about while the season was going on, to go out and people would say that to go out and check. Now, I heard Andy Mitten say earlier on, and talking to Jay, he said that 1 year ago, Benjamin Cesco was Manchester United's number 1 target. 100% guarantee I will go to jail if I am wrong, positive that was the case for Manchester United. This is the most connected man in journalism around Manchester United. That's Andy Mitten. He is the man that's got interviews with Sir Jim Radcliffe and Omar Barada. He has spoken to anybody who's anybody at Manchester United from top to bottom. And he said that Benjamin Cesco was Manchester United's number 1 target 1 year ago. Again, and yes, Ineos were involved. If there was a chance, United would always go out and buy Benjamin Cesco. It's come to a point where they have been forced into it a little bit because, as we know, we wanted Prem-proven players first for Ruben Amorim. That was his wish, and if there was one cheap enough, United would go out and get him. Liam Delap. It didn't happen. United finished shockingly 15th in the Premier League and lost the cup final in the Europa to Spurs, which is why we didn't get Delap. But Cesco has always been a target for Manchester United for years. You can go back as far as what Laurie Whitwell said when he was a teenager, when United had the chance to sign him for $2 million, but didn't pump up the money to get him. They went in for a 1.1 million bid. So, yes, this player is genuine right now, and United are going for him. It's as simple as that. When they've committed, that's it. They're in. And we all know that Benjamin Cesco would want to come to Manchester United. Newcastle can say what they want. They've been tracking him. Every club in the planet is tracking every single player. They've all got scouts out there looking at everyone. But United's interest in Benjamin Cesco is bigger than anybody else's in the Premier League. And that is a definite. Not just with the connections of Vivel, but for how long this football club has been working to get him at Manchester United. He's coming in, and Rasmus has to deal with that. A player that we have been looking at for the last 5 years is about to come in and take your spot in the side. So what's this player's mentality? It's the new type of mentality that this club now and the environment around it is starting to develop under Ruben Amorim and the new structure in place. It's right, okay, yeah, we're United. Of course we're going to get better players. Of course there's going to be competition for places. That's the right type of attitude. Not the petulant, why is Garnacho not passing to me, kicking the goalpost in frustration at a really poor season, Rasmus Hojlund. He does seem, and I'm not just picking on him here, because there's a few other players that seem to have picked themselves up off the floor and come back with the bit between their teeth this summer. And he is a prime example of what could go one way, but is clearly looking like it's going to go the other. His attitude has never been questioned. His quality has always been an issue for this football club, but that's not his problem. He's lucky to be where he is. He knows he's lucky to be where he is. It's his dream move. And now you've got another player who's about to make their dream move, which is playing in the Premier League. And he's Benjamin Cesco coming into Manchester United. Everybody who knows United, who's reported on United, will tell you exactly the same story. That United have wanted this man for years. And now they've got him. Vivel coming in, I think, personally, when Ineos came through the door, United needed a forward. They needed a striker. Their first window, Benjamin Cesco made it clear that he wasn't leaving Leipzig. He didn't want to go. And he made it clear. Like Vivel, I think, was brought in to not just bring the talent through and find the talent, but there was a chance there, United, to get Vivel, and they knew that they wanted Cesco. He's the right type of player. Don't forget, last season he was 21. I think Vivel was brought in to do his job and what he's doing, but to help United actually get Benjamin Cesco. This is why he was put on a temporary basis. Now, this is just me thinking out loud here right now. Remember, temporary basis for Christopher Vivel to come in, and I think, let's see if we can get the striker that we want. Because if he was okay for coming in the summer, I think we would have got Cesco last summer. And I don't think we would have gone and got the likes of Joshua Zirkzee. I think he was the cheaper alternative because we needed to strengthen in defence. But I think there was hope that they could get a better deal with Vivel at the football club. Then they were impressed with everything that he's done. Obviously, Dan Ashworth left. United not looking to take anybody else on after realising the mistake that they've made. And Christopher Vivel gets his job and Wilcox becomes the director of football. That, I think, is how it panned out personally. Now, you can say easily that I'm just rolling with that there and making up my own story. But look at the facts and look how it panned out, and you can pretty much see how this works for United. And I think Christopher Vivel could be the unsung hero in appointments for Manchester United. Forget about the players that United are bringing in. The people that are in position at this football club right now are the biggest positive for this club's future, because they're not going anywhere. The players will come and go. The managers and coaches will come and go. But there has to be a structure above that to make sure that Manchester United continue throughout the years and can continue past Ruben Amorim and his staff and then the next manager. You've got young people working here in Vivel and Wilcox. You've got the experience of Omar Berrado at the highest level. And at United, with all of these growing together, it should make United a force again going forward. I know it sounds like dreamland. I know it sounds like I'm spinning the ultimate positive here right now, but I just see the way this window has panned out and the way it's working, that there's a lot to do here with the people that have been employed by Ineos, and the change at this football club needs to be spoken about as well. And there you go. Quite clearly there, this was a plan, a long-term plan for Manchester United. Quickly, on the long-term side of things, Manchester United don't need to sell players right now to buy players in. They need to sell players, but over the term of the financial year. That was something we spoke about earlier on. People asking, how the hell are we doing what we're doing right now? Who have we sold if we can get these players in? I've asked that question as well. But it is apparently just because Manchester United know that they've got time this year. The January transfer window could also come in and help Manchester United with moving players on also. Quickly on, I just want to touch on this before we move on to the other main story as well. The academy side of things for Manchester United. Sad news, unfortunately. You wouldn't have seen much of him recently because he's picked up another injury, and that's Shea Lacey. Apparently will now be out for a considerable amount of time. Again, we're not going to see Shea Lacey. That kid, I don't know. He must have been the most unluckiest player at academy level with the injuries that he's had. Absolutely criminal. Jack Morehouse, more positive news on that one, no. In that Manchester United have got him signed up to a new contract and now he's heading out on loan to Leyton Orient. Good that we're getting our academy players going in at decent level football as well and good clubs. So yeah, Morehouse signed up at least and then got out on loan. Ethan Wheatley again out on loan. I just don't think that lad's ever going to make it at Manchester United. Realistically, there's too much in his way and I just don't see it happening. And Manchester United are taking JJ Gabriel on the under-19s tournament to Croatia in a bid to fast track the lad's career. Basically, his fast tracking has taken on a new lease of life recently with signing that new deal that keeps him at the club 2 more years. By the end of that deal, we should be seeing him featuring potentially in under-21 football, maybe knocking on the door for the first. I don't think we'd go that far, but this kid is supposed to be the best thing since sliced bread when it comes to academy players coming through. We're talking past Mason Greenwood style standards here, coming through Manchester United's academy. This is how good he is. He's 14 playing for the under-19s. That should tell you everything you need to know. He's actually scored, I think, 4 or 5 goals last season in a few games just for the under-18s alone. So, yeah, he is ahead of his years. And by the time his contract ends, could he be signing on again for Manchester United with a look to realistically featuring somewhere near a first-team squad a couple of years after? Maybe. Have we got our own Yamina Yamal at Manchester United? Well, we know for certain that Barcelona are knocking on the door. And United, again, with that recruitment team and that academy level and staff in at this management at United now, holding on to JJ Gabriel will be a big thing for this club in the future. And we will look back on moments like this when we sign players like that and go, thank God we didn't give in and just let the player go to Barcelona. We know what we've got in that player there, and it is something special. Let's get some comments in on everything that is going on right now. Jonathan says, I hope we keep Xerxes to see how good he can become when everyone else was deteriorating. Xerxes was improving last season. He was getting better. Still nowhere near where we need him to be, but there was signs of improvement. 100% agree with you there on that one, Jonathan. Saying the drink was the problem with him. Shame the drink was the problem with him. Was that Rashford? Who were you talking about there, buddy? Let's keep a track on everything that is currently going on as well at the moment. Right, okay, update from Fabrizio Romano on the Benjamin Cesco situation. Benjamin Cesco is really open to joining Manchester United without European football, says Romano. He also says it's going to take some days, not too long, for Benjamin Cesco to decide his next move. United feel Cesco is open to having a discussion about the project and vision. Romano definitely hedging his bets there and sitting on the fence with Cesco. I think everything is leading down the road from what everybody said that Cesco wants Manchester United. But Romano has always said this all along. Never forget about Manchester United. When all the talk about Newcastle was top, Romano always said, United are there, United are there. And we know this, and I think United are more than there. We're looking likely to be getting Benjamin Cesco. But on that, actually, wanted to move across to the plan that Manchester United have got, because there's several reports. Santiano is one of them, who is saying that Manchester United are still seriously looking into the Kolo Muani situation at Juventus and PSG. He is a backup plan. Also, Nick Nick Woltermade, I think that's Woltermade. Woltermade is a German player over there in the Bundesliga. Another man that Manchester United are looking at. Apparently Stuttgart want 40 million for him. So that's another one that Manchester United have got on their short list of strikers. A cheaper option if Benjamin Cesco becomes financially impossible. Again, just to keep people reassured on Benjamin Cesco. Why would United go this far if they didn't think they could afford him? They know what Leipzig want, and we know that Benjamin Cesco wants Manchester United. Actually, I heard Ben Jacobs earlier on. I think someone quoted him earlier on in saying that he's actually spoken to several Manchester United players now about coming and joining Manchester United. Where that came from or how that's even happened, but again, I guess players talk, don't they? But I'm thinking with everything that's going on, the big journalists are just looking after themselves a little bit and their reputations and not jumping fully on in. But Romano was the one that always said Benjamin Cesco. But then saying that, so did Ben Jacobs. He said it a while ago. In fact, I said it before them both on a show at least 6 weeks ago now. So I'm going to take credit for it as well. So you can give me my props as well, everyone. I'm only joking, of course. Anyway, more chat coming in. Talk to me about how happy you are that United have actually got a plan B as well, everybody. Zirkzee is training on his own. Yep, he is. He's still on recovery. United are not rushing him back because there's no need to. Make sure that the lad is fit and ready. They tried to rush him back for the end of the season, and look where we are now. Back to where we was, injured. It's not worth it. We haven't got as many games to play this season, and United are looking after their players properly. So yes, that's from what I see. There is Manchester United doing a professional job with these players. We're nearly at 500 likes already. Thank you, everyone. I've not even asked you to like the video, but you're just doing it anyway, which is great. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Less than 400 away from 94,000 now. We're knocking off the thousands week by week at the moment and just edging ourselves ever closer. Thank you for all of your support, everyone. Please keep hitting that subscribe button as well. The Arsenal kid is 15 for the first team. They are getting younger. These special kids. You can say that again. They definitely are. Graham in with a super chat says, United has a fast-track JJ Gabriel because his stay at the club depends on it. Yeah, like I said, because Barcelona are sniffing around. Other clubs are sniffing around him as well. He was brought into the under-18s to convince his dad and his family that he is going to be a big part of Manchester United. But he is an absolute talent. A real baller, this kid. So, looking out for plenty of young lads coming through in the future at Manchester United. Rooney's like Kai Rooney is he's knocking up some numbers. He really is. Like there's plenty coming through. We just have to sort the first team out to give them something to move to. Good evening, Adam and Kaz, says Charles. Good evening to you as well, mates. Wolfmade is too fragile. You could blow him away. Gary knows. He's going to tell us. See what we've got there. I think Cesco has decided and the deal more progressed than we're being told, says Sarah on that one. I agree, I've said that before myself. Did anyone else get a text from the club chasing renewal memberships after United's win last night? No, I'm a season ticket holder, so I didn't get that. But thanks for letting us know what the club is up to there, Jonathan, mate. Always intrigued to see what's going on at United as well, and we always get updates from fans and season ticket holders and members messaging me, telling me what's happening, letting other fans know around the world what's happening at Manchester United. We have got a lot of stuff wrong this season with the ticketing side of things, and it's nice to actually see Manchester United playing football to try and take the focus away, not ignore the issue, which is fans and loyal fans being mistreated at this football club, but it's just nice to actually move away from talking about the situation around Manchester United and how poorly run this club actually is. Well, not so much poorly run, but like the way that it's being treated, the way it's treating everybody anyway. Romano 1 minute ago tweeted out something that he said on his Fabrizio Romano podcast YouTube channel. He said, Manchester United have informed RB Leipzig that they are prepared to send a formal bid for Benjamin Cesco if the player accepts the destination. Newcastle also ready to bid since last week and to match Cesco's financial request. Decision is solely up to Benjamin Cesco. And then, like we said before, Cesco is going to make his decision in the next coming days of where he is going. We're all hearing that he wants Manchester United. United, according to Fabrizio Romano now, and this is in the last minute, so this is straight hot off the press, Manchester United have informed Leipzig that they are prepared to send a formal bid for Benjamin Cesco if the player accepts the destination. So Leipzig know that United want Cesco. They also know that they're waiting for Cesco to commit, and then that bid is coming in. Perfectly fine and well organised transfer negotiations, I would say. Letting the club know, speaking to the player, no animosity. I think this has got Vival obviously written all over it. They don't want to tarnish relationships with other clubs that they could do business with in the future. And I think Vival is a great connection for Manchester United in terms of all of these transfer negotiations that are going on right now. And that there, just the update from Romano confirms what we've all been talking about. United are more than in for Benjamin Cesco, and he will end up at Manchester United. We're just waiting for the official Benjamin Cesco wants United from David Ornstein, because he will be the one that says Benjamin Cesco has committed to United, and that's it. Romano will bring us all of the juicy detail from the Leipzig side of things, I feel. But that is where we stand at the moment. Straight off the press, Romano has said that Manchester United have now informed RB Leipzig that that bid is coming if Benjamin Cesco says yes. I think, like we've said before, we're a little bit behind because we're usually 2 days behind the real world in transfers and players and agents and people in the know knowing about these things. I think we already know, and that's where the German side of things has come out and let it slip from Leipzig's side that Manchester United is the destination for Benjamin Cesco. Romano also talking about Garnacho, and this is where my next story was going. We did talk about Garnacho earlier on as well on the midday video. Chelsea wants both Simmons and Garnacho. They are two separate topics, and it's not either one or the other. Both are wanted. That's from Fabrizio Romano again on Garnacho right now. Now, Miguel Delaney has come out and said certain things. Obviously, Ben Jacobs. Then we heard from Fabrizio Romano there, Laurie Whitwell. The connection with Chelsea and Garnacho is constant. I said earlier on that deal must be off because there was a story going around that Chelsea would only ever swap Garnacho for one of their players that they want out. United are not going to go for that. We've just heard from Romano that they're going for Benjamin Cesco. The only players that Chelsea have available for United to swap are Christopher Nkunku, striker, and Nicholas Jackson, striker. Confirmed today by Romano, United are all in for Benjamin Cesco and have informed Leipzig of that bid that's incoming. As long as the player says yes, which we kind of think we already know he has said yes, then there's no point in Manchester United looking for any swap from Chelsea. And it's going to be a bid. Where do they rate it? Manchester United value Garnacho in above 50 million quid, apparently, but Chelsea value him at 30 to 35 million. Ben Jacobs also said that as well. And again, it's going to come down to, can Man United stand their ground against Chelsea? Can we not get ripped off by Chelsea yet again? Is the big question now. So, again, when it comes to the Garnacho side of things, it's going to be, I feel, can Manchester United get the deal for the future? So by that I mean, if it is a low ball bid, and I think 40 is going to get this done. I do believe that 40 is getting this deal done for Garnacho. I feel like Manchester United will put a massive sell-on clause in there, and they would probably get their money for Garnacho later down the line if he does end up leaving and end up going to a big club that he wants to. That's what I feel. Well, that's what I feel anyway. Forest Fan TV, cheers for that, buddy. Thank you very much. Big up, Adam. You are killing it, bro. Keep up the good work. Cheers for that, mate. Let's see what else we've got here. Markash says, risky game, Adam, talking like Cesco going to be United player. The statement I just read said if Cesco agrees to the terms of the proposal, it may be considerable less than Newcastle's offer. That's not risky, mates. I'm going all in on it, but I'm going off what the Germans have said. The Germans have said that Cesco wants Manchester United. I think we all know that Cesco wants Manchester United. Otherwise, he would have accepted the bid that's been on the table 7 days ago from Newcastle United. There you go. Let's see how Manchester United work this. Because I know what people are saying. Like, if Newcastle come in and beat Manchester United's bid, do Leipzig go for him? Then they're giving Cesco the time to decide which club he wants to go to. And then they will honour his wishes, like has always been said. So Newcastle could come in with a higher bid. But if Cesco wants to go to United, then Leipzig will honour that for Benjamin Cesco. Now, they may change their minds and people can say, you don't know that, Adam. No, I don't know that. But obviously, there's already a bid in from Newcastle. So why have Leipzig not accepted it? They could always accept that bid and then somebody else come in and then go, oh, no, they've bid more. So why are they not... why are they not conducting business now with Newcastle with that offer on the table for 7 days, a week? It's because they were waiting for Benjamin Cesco to make his mind up. And he wanted to see if United were interested. So, yes, I do believe on that basis that that Manchester United is the place where Benjamin Cesco wants to play his football next season. And I think it is. I think it's quite clear when you break it down. Simon says Garnacho can stay and clean... Can Selos boots? Selos boots? Is that a typo? I'm not sure who that player is or who that is. Selos boots? I don't know. You said the other day, Adam, that we are probably 2 days behind. So does that mean that we have already had the here we go for Cesco? I like that one, Andy. Yeah, hopefully. I thought Rihanna's already pre-recorded that video, mate. But no, I actually feel like Romano will, and I've always said this, I think Romano knows more than he's letting on. I've said that on previous shows. He's got a job as well. He has to keep the excitement going. And he's in a privileged position, that man. But it's not going to be cheap for him to be in that privileged position as well. So he has to make sure that he is, first of all, absolutely bang on with his news. He's the one that can't get things wrong. He's under more pressure than anybody to get the news right because everyone goes to him for the dead cert and the confirmed, don't they? Him and Ornstein, they're the daddies of this world. And when they say something, we all sit down and listen. And he has just said there that Manchester United are talking now to Leipzig. He said it the other day. He's always said that United are there and are interested. And then piece by piece, he's just been feeding us little bits of information as he goes along. And as this deal starts to escalate into where it is now, Romano has been on top of all of it. But I'm telling you, it will be David Ornstein that comes out first and says that Manchester United have now been told by Cesco that he wants them. And now United negotiating with Leipzig. That's my prediction on how this news is going to break out anyway. I think it will be Arnie, first of all. Arnie is coming out first with the news. Cesco or Watkins, Adam? I always went with Watkins, mate. I said it, and I've not changed my mind. I like Cesco. I love him as a player. I think he's got fantastic potential. But I looked at what United needed now, and I just thought Watkins was the better option for United. But still, completely happy with Benjamin Cesco. Either one of these strikers, you wouldn't get a complaint from me. I know the history, like I said, for Cesco, and I know what Watkins would bring United instantly. There are two different arguments there with these players, and I think that is what's kept us all going, really, isn't it? I mean, when you look at it, though, we're arguing over Watkins and Cesco. We were thinking doom and gloom here. We've lost out on Osimhen, no Gyökeres, no Delap. Nobody wants us. Ekatike's gone as well, João Pedro. All of the other competition is getting strikers in. But we're at this stage of the window now with Cunha and Bumo in, and we're arguing over Watkins and Cesco. Yeah, I'd take that all day long. Happy with that. Very happy with that. Okay. Cesco is way better than Watkins, says Charles Van Olsen. Simon again with another super chat says, sorry, typo. He can stay and clean Cesco's boots. I thought it was, mate. Thank you very much. And thanks for replying with another super chat on that one. You didn't need to, mate. Romano has lost a bit of his edge. Ornstein is number one. He shoots, he scores every time without constant waffling. Well, he does run the Athletic. And Romano has got his own channel right now, so he's expected to do more and more content where Ornstein doesn't. He comes out with the news as it happens, really, Ornstein, doesn't he? And I don't think he's bothered about the fame. I'm not saying that Romano is fame-driven, but you can see an element of him now turning into a bit of a celebrity as well. I mean, when you're getting high fives on the sideline off Cristiano Ronaldo while he's warming up, kind of makes you feel like this guy has got some credit and is definitely one of them new age football celebrities, even though he's not a footballer. It's mad, isn't it, how the world has changed around transfer. I remember the days when we had teletext. Remember that? I had to ring Man United on Club Call to try and find out as a kid. I had to ask my mum and dad, can I make a call to Manchester United to call Club Call to find out about the transfer news? Does anyone remember them days? Were you ever that geekish like I was to try and find out what's going on? I needed to know everything. Everything. I wasn't happy until I knew every tiny snippet of news. I'd find out who the player was, and then I'd go out, who United might be linked with, then I'd go out playing football with that player signing for United and make my own sort of like scenarios up and everything like that. Bang! Good old days. Yeah, Club Call and teletext. My God, we couldn't live without it. Couldn't live. What did it take? It was about a minute for the page to change on teletext, didn't it? Adam, come on, buddy. Stick your hands up. Watkins wasn't wanted. No, I wanted Watkins. I said it all along. I don't know what you mean, Fred. Watkins at United had admirers as well. I don't know if that's what you mean. But no, I was all for Watkins. You can go and watch the videos back. I made my mind up. I just thought it suited Man United better. There was more of a chance of him hitting the ground running than there was Cesco. And I knew how important the start of the season was. How Watkins has even got into the striker conversation, first of all, question mark. I bet no one would even want Watkins at the start of the transfer window. Cesco only. Well, we had Delap, we had Gyökeres, we had Osimhen, we had Ekitike, we had plenty of strikers linked with Manchester United. London has donated the membership. Thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate that. Well over 600 likes in the bag, everybody. Thank you so much. Keep them coming in. Make sure you hit the subscribe button as well. We're getting your comments in now on the show, everyone. Does anyone else remember the teletext days? Club Call. Anyone else in there, or is it just me? Joseph says, building blocks, Adam. For now, fill the gaps, become strong next year. Players away. Boom. Look. I think Manchester United this season, I've said this already, I'm not just going off pre-season friendlies and what we've done in America so far. It's been very impressive. Happy with where we're at. And then I think past this, next summer, if United get into Europe, we can expect even bigger things. And this team will really start to develop. You've got to start thinking of replacements for Bruno, Casemiro, Harry Maguire. These sorts of replacements need to be lined up now. Now, there was a story about Donnarumma that went out again from Janaga Fjortov earlier on today. Some people are saying no, some people are saying yes. Sky are saying United want Donnarumma. Ben Jacobs saying it's rumours. Other people saying that he's not had a big enough offer than what he's on already at PSG. Look, we broke it down the other day on the video. Like, there is apparently a bid from the Saudi Pro League where he is being offered around about 325 grand a week wages. And we spoke about this on the show and on a video, talking about what Manchester United would do. Well, if you think Cherillet is coming in to PSG, they're not going to buy him and then keep Donnarumma. I think Graham actually ran me earlier on about this and was talking about this has happened before. PSG have seen players leave before. Donnarumma let his contract run down at AC Milan and then moved to PSG on a free. They're getting somebody else in just to, I feel, tell Donnarumma that you're not going to take us for ransom. But to be honest, at the end of the day, and I've always said this, I think he's just dancing around a little bit here and wanting a new deal. 1 year left. Will PSG allow him to leave for nothing? I doubt it. I think something will be sorted in season. But the noises keep on coming. And more people keep talking about Donnarumma being a potential Manchester United target. And it's going to keep on being talked about, I think. So let's just see how it develops from this point forward. But I'm fully convinced that Manchester United's goalkeeper this summer will be Senne Lammens. still. And I think that's the way United are going to go. He fits what Ineos have always said they wanted to do, which is develop younger players into the superstars. But then again, I did say, and I keep going back on it as well, that Ineos will pay high wages for players that are at the highest level and continuously playing week in, week out, like Bruno Fernandes, the one man that has had a contract extension of substantial amounts while Ineos have been in charge. There hasn't been any more stupid renewals for any player at United since Ineos has been here. And Bruno Fernandes is the only one. And he plays every single week and is massive. If you had someone like Donnarumma, then you could argue that that player is the elite of the elite and probably deserves the wages that he's on. And that was the argument with it. But then I always went back to Senny Lamens, and I keep toing and throwing. I'm like, someone just shut this down. We thought Romano would shut it down, then Fjortov brought it up and Sky brought it up again. I think there is absolute overtime work going on right now with the agents of Donnarumma to fill us with some form of hope that United could actually get Donnarumma still. Watkins isn't the profile Cesco is. Come on. No, he's not. It's a different profile altogether. But United's plan this summer clearly was Prem-proven players. And that is what Watkins is. Welcome to the Members Club. Thank you for the super chat as well. Kuto. That finishes our show, everyone. We are done. 50 minutes in. Thank you. Oh, that went really quick. Apologies if I didn't get all your comments in. Please drop them into the comment section and let me know after the show has finished what you think about all the topics we have spoken about today. Again, and that will finish off another day in the transfer window for United. And I'm sure it will just continue tomorrow. I'm out and about again tomorrow, so content could be on the go, but we'll keep you updated no matter what, as always here on Forever United TV. Thank you, mods. Thank you, members. Again, everyone who's new to subscribing to the channel, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. It helps the channel out massively. And of course, give the video a like on the way out. That'll take us near enough over 700 live likes, which is epic. Cheers, everyone.